finally going over the answers to the test review. I'm going to be going kind of fast, so if you have questions, please let me know. But this is going to be so you can check your answers, or if there was one you struggled with, you can see how to do it. So for the first four, these are not story problems, so I advise you to set up a proportion. And it says round to the nearest tenth if needed. So I'm going to make my proportion lines, 100 in the bottom right. We have 78%, percents always go over 100. Then of 50, of always goes on the bottom, so we don't know the is. So I'm going to cross multiply. 50 times 78 is 3,900. Divided by 100, you should have gotten 39. Number 2, set up your lines. 100 in the bottom right. Says 6 is goes on top. Of 120, that goes on bottom. We don't know the percent. There's no percent sign in the problem, so we put next here. 6 times 100 is 600. Divided by 120 is 5. So it's 5%, since they were asking for what percent. Number 3, set up your lines. 100 bottom right. I see a percent, so that's going to go over 100. 52 is, so that goes in the is spot. We don't know the of. 52 times 100 is 5,200. Divided by 65 is 80. Number 4, 100 in the bottom right. Of 375, so that goes in the of part, is 40, goes in the is part. We don't know the percent. 40 times 100 is 4,000. Divided by 375 is about 10.7%, so you had to round that one. Okay, the next ones, it says to round to nearest hundredth because we're going to be talking about money. So number 5, how much would you tip with a $12 haircut and you're tipping 15%? So we're going to multiply by 0.15. So remember, anytime you have a story problem, just turn your percent to decimal and multiply. 12 times 0.15 is 1.8. So you are going to tip $1.80. And that's all you had to do because you just wanted the tip. Number 6, this time I want the total. Your dinner bill is 48 and there's an 18% gratuity. So remember, gratuity means tip. So we're going to do 48 times 0.18, which is 8.64. So this is how much you're going to tip, but since I want the total, I'm going to add the tip back in. Since tip is more money you have to pay, it's going to increase your price. So 48 plus 864 gives you a total of 56.64. Number 7, how much would you save on rollerblades if they were originally $45 with a 20% discount? So 45 times 0.20 is 9. So you are saving $9, and that answers the question. Okay, I'm going to move down. Number 8, this time I want the sales price, so that's my new price of a t-shirt that was $15, 25% discount. So first figure out how much is the discount. 15 times 0.25 is 3.75. So you're going to save $375, so to figure out the new price, subtract. We're subtracting because this is $375, we don't have to pay, it makes it cheaper. So we get a final answer of $11.25. Number 9, we have total costs. We have tax and tip, so we're going to do them separately. So we're going to do $42.75 times 0.06, so do the tax first, to get 2.565, which I'm going to go ahead and round to 2.57. Tax makes it more expensive, so we're going to add it to get 45.32. I'm going to use this new number to figure out the tip. So 45.32 times 15% tip, so 0.15. It's going to give me 6.798, which is going to round to 680. Tip makes it more expensive, so add it back on to that new price, 45.32. So your answer should be around 52.12. If you're off by a cent or two, that's okay because of rounding. Okay, moving on to the back. Number 10, new radio, that was $3, end of year sale, 40% off. I want to know the sale price, so the new price. So 30 times 0.40 is 12. Since it's $12 off, I'm going to subtract to get a final answer of $18. Number 11, we're talking about commission. So remember, commission is a percentage that you make for selling things. So sold 545, so 0.13 times 545. Looks like Connor's going to make $70.85. And that's all you have to do because it doesn't say he's going to make anything in addition to that. So that's all he makes. Number 12, Chloe's going to make $85 per hour, or that should really be per week, plus 20% of anything she sells. She sold $325. So first figure out what's 20% of $325. Do not do 20% of 85 because it says 20% of what she sells. She didn't sell $85. She sold $325. So 0.20 times 325 is 65. So she's going to make that 85 plus the 65, which is $150 for that week. 13, we're figuring out who makes more. Lauren's going to make a 15% commission. Marley makes 18%. Lauren sold $3,000 and Marley sold $2,500. So I like to organize my work. So I'm going to do Lauren first. So here's my work for Lauren. She had a 15% commission, sold $3,000. So when I multiply those, I get $450. And then Marley over here, she gets an 18% commission and she sold $2,500, which happens to also be $450. So they are going to make the same. So they made the same amount. So you actually have to write that because that answers the question. Okay, the last three questions we're doing percent of change. So round to the nearest whole number, and we also need to say if it's an increase or decrease. So first I need to figure out how much it changed. To do that, subtract. So subtract them in any order. I usually do biggest minus smallest. So that's 0.8. Then that's the change. I still need to turn it into percent. So we're going to divide. You always divide by the first number. When you get that, you get about 0.225. Now we're going to move our decimal over twice to get 22.5%, which is going to round to about 23%. Then I need to figure out increase or decrease. So it went from 275 up to 355, so that was an increase. It went up 80 cents. Okay, 15 in 6th grade, Dakota earned $15 a week. This year she's going to earn $20 a week. I would know what's the percent of increase and the amount of money she earned. So first we need to figure out how much did it increase. So subtract 20 minus 15 to get 5. Then turn it to percent by dividing by the original number, so 15. 5 divided by 15 is 0.3 repeating. Move your decimal number twice to get about 33%. And it went from 15 to 20, so it's an increase, but it also told me that in the problem. And the last one. So the book for $49.62. This year she sold it for $52.10. What's the percent of change in the price? So first figure out how much did it change. So $52.10 minus $49.62, which is $248. Then divide it by the original amount. So that was $49.62. And that's going to get you about 0.049. Move the decimal over twice to get 4.9, which rounds to about 5%. It went from $49.62 up to $52.10, so that is an increase. Okay, so again, I know I did that pretty quickly. If you have any questions, please let me know.